so this is tough because like, yeah, my perfect offseason would be like sign Fred VanVleet for
all right.
yeah,
Perfect, realistic offseason.
yes, exactly. Like 3 years, $30 million. How you doing?
Well, I guess I would love to steal Anthony Davis away from the
Yes,
Los Angeles
Anthony
Lakers.
Davis.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. My perfect offseason. I don't want to spoil the little trade that we came up with to start. You came up with, not we. I'm giving you the credit for that. I just co-signed it for our article. So draft. It's basically trade down, pick up a real asset, and leave the draft with Kyra Lewis Jr. I am really open on this draft. I've come around on like almost anything. Like you mentioned Obi Toppin's name before. There was a point in time several months ago where I was like, the only thing that could happen in this draft that would really set, like we talk about Westbrook, that could really set me off would be them ending up with Obi Toppin. And now I'm at the point like, you know what? If they ended up with the guy who's going to come in and probably average 20 a game next year, it's like, am I really going to get upset at that? Like, okay, he's not a player that you want on the floor at the end of like a big time conference finals game, one step at a time. But that would be my ideal. Trade down, end up with Kyra Lewis Jr. In a trade scenario, I think I'd like them to trade for Chris Paul. I think I'd still like them to trade for Chris Paul, and I'd like them to get Chris Paul for Julius Randle. This has to be realistic, right?
It does.
My ideal offseason can't include them trading Frank. It's against the rules.
Well,
but
you love more, Chris Paul or Frank Ntilikina?
It would make
like Sophie's choice. I know, but
I can't. You know, it's
or I mean, in Frank's case, it's Le Choix de Sophie, whatever you want to call it, however you want to spell it out.
I'm laughing for a few reasons. One, you're the Jewish guy making the Sophie's choice joke, which is just like
allowed. It's allowed.
It's chef's kiss. And there's probably, what do you think percentage of people have no idea what Sophie's choice is that are listening to this right now? 60% of people?
Maybe,
Listen, kids, if you want a really fun time on a Saturday night,
Christmas movie even.
What?
Like a fun holiday film starring really the illustrious Meryl Streep.
It's fun Sophie's for the whole
choice.
Family.
Yeah.
It's actually her at an amusement park. She's choosing which amusement park ride she wants to go down.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. So Dennis Smith Jr., Julius Randle, and I will give them the 27th pick in the draft. I will do that. Take on Chris Paul. And I would like the best salary dump you could get. That's what else I want to spend my money on. Fill out the rest of the roster with guys with essentially minimum contracts, more or less. And I'm trying to think of I know I should have a specific salary dump in mind. There's the Taurean Prince one, which is obvious. Can I get Al Farouk Aminu and get something? I'll give. Oh man, can I get creative for a sec?
Get as creative as you want. As you'll see, I tried to get fairly creative, so you go for it.
Again, we're throwing some shit against the wall. I want to give up. I want a future Hawks pick. I want the Hawks to get desperate. And I want to give the Hawks something, and I want to get a future Atlanta Hawks pick because I do not believe in what they're doing in Atlanta. And I do not believe in the relationship between that coach and that player. And I know I'm stepping on a little bit of what I wrote the other day. But if there's any way that I could get a future Hawks first, I'm like, I don't want to give up Kevin Knox. I really don't want to give up Kevin Knox. But if I can, because I want to see what Kevin Knox does under Kenny Payne. Or maybe it's just as easy. Maybe I'm making this too complicated. Yeah, let's just get a future Magic first. Let's get Al Farouk Aminu in here. Let's give them, what are we giving them? Can't really give them much. Well, it's my perfect offseason. So if I take on Al Farouk Aminu, I could get like a heavily protected future first. Something like that. I want a future pick. I just
Yeah.
want to come out of this offseason with a future pick. That's all. That's all I really want. That's
Fair.
it. That's all.
Okay.
It's. I'm a simple man.
All right. That's good.
Yeah.
I could get behind that,
Okay, great.
Assets on assets. That works out.
Assets on assets on assets.
That's great.